This video is filled with great betting information regarding Week 3 in the NFL. Here is the plan. First, I will present 5 picks against the spread. Then, I would like to share a specific betting system that has done wonders in Weeks 2 and 3 over the course of many seasons. Finally, how would you like to hear about a good potential NFL proposition bet for a game that will take place on Sunday? In case you don't know me yet, I'm Professor MJ, a university statistics teacher from Quebec, Canada. Before we get in the Week 3 discussion, I would like to invite you personally to a free 1-hour webinar where I'm going to reveal all of my tactics, systems, and strategies to beat bookies in the NFL. This online event will take place next Thursday, September 26. You can either watch it live so that you can ask questions, or you can also watch the replay in the ensuing 48 hours. We have a maximum of 200 spots available, so don't wait until it's too late. The link to secure your virtual seat for this free NFL webinar is provided below in the comments section. Alright, are you ready to roll with 5 NFL picks against the spread for Week 3 in the 2024 regular season? Last week, we picked up a nice 5-3 record. So let's keep crushing the sportsbooks together, shall we? My first NFL pick for Week 3 goes to the Los Angeles Chargers as 1.5-point underdogs in Pittsburgh. My main concern about this game is Justin Herbert's ankle injury. He will suit up for this game, but I hope it won't prevent him from moving around a little bit to avoid Pittsburgh's pass rush. Outside of this concern, I love this bet. Let me explain why. Both teams are sitting on a nice 2-0 record. However, the Steelers have scored just 1 touchdown so far this season. They have benefited from 5 takeaways versus 0 giveaway. Herbert is a smart QB who knows how to protect the football. So if Pittsburgh is waiting for a big mistake to capitalize on, they may wait the entire game for that to happen. The Chargers' success used to be on Herbert's shoulders. Not anymore. The team has won both of its games even though their signal caller obtained just 144 and 130 passing yards in those contests respectively. The key to their success has been their defense and the running game. Can you believe that LA racked up 176 yards on the ground against the Raiders and 219 against the Panthers? Those are mind-boggling numbers. Running back J.K. Dobbins proved that Week 1 was not a fluke. After accumulating 131 rushing yards in the first week, he followed up with 135 in the second game. He is finally healthy and taking advantage of the new opportunity for his career. The Steelers have allowed the second fewest points in the league through the first couple of weeks of action. Can you guess which team sits in first place? That's right, the Chargers. LA's defense has given up 10 points to the Raiders and 3 points to Carolina. That being said, here is an interesting statistic. Justin Herbert owns a perfect 18-0 record when his defense surrenders under 20 points. Based on what I've seen from Pittsburgh's offense thus far in 2024, scoring under 20 points seems like a very likely scenario, so I like my chances with the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh seems to have installed discipline and a great culture with his new organization. The team is playing much smarter than when they were led by Brandon Staley, who made several questionable decisions. So for all of those reasons, I am pretty excited about betting the Chargers plus 1.5 points in Pittsburgh, or simply taking them to win straight up. After taking a very slight underdog, let me opt for a small favorite. This time I am backing the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Both squads are coming off very disappointing losses. But to me, the Ravens are the more desperate team since they are off to an 0-2 start. And we all know how desperation brings the best out of NFL athletes. After winning 16 consecutive games at home during the regular season, the Cowboys were smashed 44-19 against the Saints. In that game, their vaunted defense gave up a touchdown in each of New Orleans' first 6 drives, which is eye-popping. I think there will be a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Cowboys players. What if they get crushed again? I don't think they will play with a lot of confidence. Dallas scored no touchdown in 3 red zone trips. They really need someone outside of Lamb to threaten opposing defenses. They haven't found an answer to that problem yet. There might be a lot of points scored in that game. Why? Let's dive into the numbers. Right now, Dallas ranks 23rd in terms of rushing yards allowed per rush. That's bad news when you are about to face one of the top running attacks in the NFL. Meanwhile, Baltimore's defense has squandered the most passing yards in 2024. I'm sure Dak Prescott is licking his chops right now. And his fantasy owners too. Yes, I am a bit worried about Baltimore's offensive line. But still, I believe the Ravens will come out on top with the W. They are the better team and they will prove it against a reeling Cowboys squad. Up next, NFL pick number 3 goes to the San Francisco 49ers, laying 7 points against the Rams. According to historical data, it is a sound idea to bet against the home team whenever they are coming off 2 straight road losses. Most people expect a team under this situation to play a lot better when they return home, but based on the numbers, that's often not the case. The Rams fit under this description, so that reinforces my confidence in the San Francisco bet. Sure, the Niners will be without Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. We are talking about 2 superstars. Thankfully, Jordan Mason has stepped in nicely as CMC's replacement, and he's done a fantastic job in the backfield. Now, what about Deebo's absence? Brandon Ayuk will need to step up his game because in 2 games he has caught just 6 balls for 71 yards. He missed all of training camp due to a contract dispute, but he could be up to speed at the right moment. We all know how talented he is anyway. The offensive line for the Rams is in shambles. They will be without their 2 stud wide receivers, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. The depth behind them isn't great, as they will need DeMarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson, Tutu Atwell, and Jordan Whittington to pick up the slack. Not only do I believe the wide receiver group will struggle, but it's not like Matthew Stafford had been lighting up the scoreboard. Through the first 2 games, he has tossed just 1 TD pass. Honestly, I would not be surprised if the Rams scored 10 points or less. The game will feel like a road game for the Rams, as I expect 49ers fans to be much more vocal than Rams fans. After suffering through a bad upset in Minnesota, I think San Francisco will rebound with a big, crushing defeat over their division rivals. I am predicting a 27-10 victory by the Niners. Let's switch gears by opting for a pretty big underdog that I believe will cover the spread. Even though this team is viewed as the worst NFL team, believe it or not, I am betting the Carolina Panthers plus 5.5 points in Las Vegas. Carolina's offense has been ridiculously bad so far this year. They scored 10 points in the season opener before putting just 3 meager points on the board last week. New head coach Dave Canales had no choice but to bench Bryce Young. In comes the veteran Andy Dalton, who, I believe, will be a breath of fresh air. The team has some weapons on offense with Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and second-year man Jonathan Mingo, who was praised a lot during training camp. I'm sure they are all excited about the quarterback change. If you combine the 2022 and 2023 seasons, Andy Dalton has thrown 20 TD passes versus 9 interceptions. That's not too bad. His last start took place in Week 3 last year, a game in which he racked up 361 passing yards coupled with 2 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, the Raiders are coming off an emotional road win in Baltimore. As good as that victory was, they could go through a letdown game, since facing the Panthers is not nearly as exciting. I could see Vegas being much more sloppy this weekend. QB Gardner Minshew is not a world beater. His passing yardage has been good, but getting 2 TD passes versus 2 interceptions is not impressive at all. He has been sacked 9 times so far this season. The Raiders' running game has been underwhelming a little bit. Last year, Zamir White looked fantastic during a 4-game stretch replacing Josh Jacobs. The expectations were high for him this season, but he has accumulated a total of 68 rushing yards in 2 games. What? And he has yet to score a TD. Head coach Antonio Pierce has said that the offensive line needs to block better to open up holes, but they need to do a better job running the football. So in summary, I think the QB change will revive Carolina, which will be enough to keep this game close. The Panthers may not win, but I don't think it will be a walk in the park for the Raiders. Give me Carolina and the extra 5.5 points. Pick number 5 for Week 3 in the NFL is as follows. I'm taking the Saints moneyline against the Eagles. The Saints destroying the Panthers in Week 1 did not catch our attention too much. However, demolishing the Cowboys on the road in the following week sure did. So far, the Saints have outscored their opponents 91-29. Did you know that scoring 91 points through the first 2 games is the 4th highest total in NFL history? That's impressive! Alvin Kamara seems like the perfect fit in Clint Kubiak's offense. In 2 games, he has already scored 5 total TDs, along with 290 yards from scrimmage. Derek Carr has been rock solid as well, with a 77% completion rate, 5 TD passes and 1 interception. New Orleans' pass defense has been awesome so far. They will focus on stopping Devontae Smith since A.J. Brown is out again for the Eagles. That will create problems for Jalen Hurts, who has been shaky as a passer so far this year. He has already been picked off on 3 occasions in 2024. And what about Philly's defense? They have given up close to 400 total yards per game. They rank dead last in the NFL in terms of rushing yards allowed per carry, with a dreadful 6.4 average. Here is the icing on the cake. The Eagles lose 1 valuable day of preparation after playing last Monday night. They probably wished they had more time to get ready for a road game against the red-hot Saints club. In the introduction of this video, I said I would present a great NFL betting system that has generated a lot of profit over the years in weeks 2 and 3 of the regular season. The rules are quite simple. If both teams are coming off a game in which the under was the winning bet on totals, then you must bet the over to hit this week. Here is the reasoning behind this betting strategy. Early in the season, the betting public tends to overreact to what they've observed so far. When they have seen two teams being involved in a boring, low-scoring affair, they tend to assume that the under will hit again. But according to historical data, that has not been the case at all. Since 2003, this betting angle has produced a 162 record, a 61.7% winning rate. Last season, I tracked this system and I obtained an 8-1 record. It will be interesting to see how it plays out this year. Unfortunately, we had no qualifying play under this system last week. However, this week we have 6 games that are projected to go over the total. Giants versus Browns, Bears versus Colts, Texans versus Vikings, Chargers against Steelers, Broncos Bucks, and finally the great AFC matchup between the Jaguars and the Bills on Monday. I am looking forward to see how this system does this week. Boy, we have covered a lot of betting topics for Week 3 in the NFL, and we are not done yet. I have repeated several times this year how the best way to beat bookies in the NFL is via prop bets. Let me share a play that has caught my eye, but I have not pulled the trigger yet. I tend to wait until game day to make sure that no injuries are going to diminish our chances of winning our bets. Here we go! In the Giants-Browns game, I like Cleveland running back Jerome Ford to get over 2.5 receptions. According to my mathematical model, this is a good value wager at odds up to -158 in American format, which equates to 1.63 in decimal odds. In terms of probability, we have a 61.2% chance of winning this bet. Most bookies have a line that satisfies this criterion for betting, including FanDuel, whose line is currently the best at -128. Head coach Kevin Stefanski declared that tight end David Njoku is unlikely to suit up for this game. That's good news for Ford, who should get more opportunities to catch passes out of the backfield. After Ford dominated touches from the backfield in Week 1, I found it weird that Dante Foreman got 14 rushes versus just 7 for Ford. That made no sense since Ford was clearly outplaying Foreman with a 9.1 yards per carry average. I think Ford will go back to being the number 1 running back and he will get many opportunities to grab some passes from Deshaun Watson. We tend to make a lot more money when betting prop bets like this one. That has been my personal experience since 1999, via hundreds and hundreds of bets. If you wish to get my top 10 NFL prop bets on Sunday, along with my favorite 3 props on Monday, for a grand total of 13 betting tips, go ahead and invest in your sports betting success by putting your hands on my gold NFL package. If those 13 picks yield a losing record, you get your money back. As simple as that. The link to this gold package can be found below in the comments section. I am looking forward to send you those 13 value wagers in your mailbox. I'm Professor MJ. Have a fun and lucrative weekend, my bunch of bookie crushers!